Have you ever wanted to preserve your brain forever? Transcend this mortal coil? I'm sure plenty of the most lavishly wealthy among us have some sort of contingency plan for this, whether it's uploading one's consciousness to a supercomputer or having their body cryogenically frozen. However, for the vast majority of people, this is just a pipe dream. Wait, did I just say pipe? What's another word for pipe? Tube? Cylinder? You'll understand what I'm saying in a moment. For now, we'll introduce one of H.P. Lovecraft's most enduring images, or at least one of the more well-developed creatures outside of the old ones and outer gods. Hello, fellow friends and philosophers, and welcome back to the most mind-bending channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. I'm your voice in the void, Keegan Hughes, and today we're going to be discussing this insane proposition. What if the Mi-Go were real? Mi-Go being a race of creatures, not just one. Some confusing wording, I know. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more surgical scallywags. Perfect, let's begin. I suppose we should start with a brief description of today's titular terrors, the Mi-Go. This is a race of extraterrestrial travelers created by Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Like most beings in the cosmic realm, they've been used and abused by other authors as well. Originally appearing in the tale The Whisperer in Darkness, these creatures seem to be winged humanoid crabs. That's only the start of it, but we'll elaborate in a moment. See, in this story of conspiracy and credence, we meet the Miskatonic U literature professor Albert Wilmarth. A staunch supporter of logic and evidence, he is embroiled in a conspiracy concerning strange beings sighted after a flood. At first, he is concretely on the side of provable phenomena. He refuses to believe that anything that cannot be proven should be given any consideration. However, he then receives a letter from a colleague, Wentworth Akeley. This pen pal details how he recently had his mind open to extraterrestrial life and other previously laughable ideas. Strange people had assailed his property, and at first he was worried. Gunfire was exchanged, robes were donned, green blood was spilled, the works. After a few letters discussing the terrible nature of these invasive creatures, Akeley reaches out again, this time with a positive attitude towards his visitors. Apparently, they're actually quite friendly. Accepting them into his home, this lonesome fellow learns unknowable things. The kind of stuff that would make your head reel. You know, classic Lovecraft. With this, Wilmarth decides to pay his correspondent a visit. Upon arrival, he realizes that his friend is in a terrible, terrible condition. After sitting him down and possibly making him a cup of soothing tea, he asks exactly what the hell is going on. Akeley is near incoherent at this point, babbling about the things that will happen. He claims that the beings are going to extract his brain and put it in a canister where he can live forever. He'll even travel through space. All of this is laughable to Wilmarth, of course. The good professor dismisses his colleague's ranting as nonsense and goes to bed. But after waking up with a sense of unease, he decides to investigate further. In doing so, he discovers a set of robes concealing a horrifying secret. Amidst the fabric lies his friend's face and hands, and with them the realization that he wasn't likely talking to a human the night before. Was something pretending to be Mr. Akeley? Oh boy. So that's the first Mi-Go story to appear on the scene, with a pretty wicked conclusion. It introduces some major calling cards that the monsters have been known for moving forward. Space travel, brain tubes, human kidnapping, and more. These are strange crab creatures, but that's not always how they look. Mi-Go are fungus-based life forms with often varied appearances and behaviors thanks to extremely advanced understanding of surgery, biology, technology, and chemistry. They're so far ahead of humans with their science and tech that it's unlikely that anyone will ever really understand how they operate. However, they do often appear with a similar set of characteristics. They're large, pinkish, fungoid, crustacean-like creatures about the size of a grown man. Their heads take the shape of a convoluted ellipsoid, consisting of pyramided fleshy rings and antennae. Their wings are similar to that of bats, especially membranous, and are used to traverse the ether of outer space. The wings don't work too well on Earth, though. Other interesting features include the inability to be captured on photographic film thanks to be made of otherworldly material, being able to enter suspended animation for long periods of time, and communicating through the altering of pigmentation in their heads. This isn't the extent of their communication, though, as they can also use telepathy, click their claw things, and speak human language. Whenever they use language, it freaks people out too. A Mi-Go's voice always takes on an odd, buzzy quality, which can be very creepy. Now let's return to our talk of pipes, tubes, and cylinders. Remember how Akeley claimed that he could have his brain put into a canister of some sort and travel through space? Well, Mi-Go are relatively infamous for taking human gray matter, still living of course, and placing it into brain cylinders. Their scientific advances allow for this odd behavior, and whether they're doing this experimentally or for other reasons is beyond me. The most common trip is between Earth and Pluto, or as some might call it, Yuggoth. If the prospect of your consciousness being locked away in a cylinder for all eternity is a little much, fret not. The MiGo also have devices they can attach the tubes to enable sensory inputs once again. Think about it this way, you could see the cosmos from a mechanical body. Are they doing this to entertain or educate us? Well, like most things in the Lovecraftian canon, we'll never truly understand. They operate on a level that we as humans cannot comprehend, and as such tend to seem malicious or violent. However, that's just the way most people see things, and well, we don't really have the MiGo perspective on this. Our opinion on them might also be negatively affected by the fact that they tend to hunt down and kill anyone who owns one of their sacred designs, found on the moons of Yuggoth. A lot of these designs can be found in the Necronomicon and Necronomicon adjacent resources, meaning that a lot of folks get murked by MiGo for just having an interest in the occult. Just a few more assorted MiGo facts before we get to the main question, I promise. This race has been said to war with the Elder Things during pre-human times, which is pretty much a guarantee that we have no chance against them. They've also attracted the ire of another popular Lovecraftian character, Hastur. The King in Yellow's cult is dedicated to hunting the MiGo down, thus exterminating the fungoid threat. If Hastur feels like he has to fight against the MiGo, you know they're for real. So now we can get into the question from the title, what if the MiGo were real? I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say not too much would change. See, they love to experiment on people and toss them into brain tubes, but it's not like they're doing this on a large scale. They have their own agenda beyond anything the human race could ever conceive of, and I really don't think they have world domination on their minds. However, that isn't to say that certain people's lives wouldn't change. If you were one of the rare few selected to be turned into a mind pipe, you would then begin a journey that no human being could ever conceive of. It would be an absolutely dazzling journey through the cosmos, taking in things that nobody could have ever dreamed. That is, as long as the MiGo give you the appropriate technology to work with. It could also be a terrifying, lonely, maddening journey through the universe. Imagine being just a consciousness suspended in a tube. No sights, sounds, smells, or other senses. It would be like purgatory almost. It's unlikely that a person could undergo that kind of deprivation and remain sane, let alone human at all. Terrifying. I would say that maybe we could work together with the MiGo and learn from their technological prowess, but that is wishful thinking at the best. They operate on a level so far beyond ours, no cooperation could ever be successful. We'd always be the pawns, the lab rats, the meat. Not ideal. If the MiGo were real, we'd also have to deal with any sort of combat they involve themselves in. Wars between Elder Things and other cosmic creatures could cause catastrophe on Earth. And if Hastur is really hunting them down, I am sure we'd see some collateral. So yeah, if the MiGo were real, we'd have some space-traveling brainiacs, a bunch of new questions, and of course, different cosmic battles to deal with. What a world, right? Well, what did you think of the video? Did you learn something new about the MiGo? What Lovecraftian origin story is your favorite? Would you be down to take a trip in a brain tube? Keep in mind that it is definitely one way. You are not getting your body back. Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more quizzical ones from what if a Category 6 hurricane hit New York. Anthony Capellian says, what if we had a great red spot on Earth? We'd be gone, I think. Nothing's alive on Jupiter. I think Earthlings would follow suit. Dustin Plays says, you need to read this whole comment. Want to know who's amazing? Read the first word. You. Oh, Dustin. Carlos Peniche says, one of the 5 questions you have about Hollywood. Why does it keep giving Nicolas Cage film roles? Why wouldn't you give him roles? It's dynamite. Sure, sometimes it blows up in your face, but it's always a spectacle. And maybe it'll reveal some precious minerals. Bolo Papoy says, what if mobs spawned at night IRL? Who's to say they don't? Keep your sword handy, just in case. Dark Offensive says, my birthday's next week, Monday. Well, happy birthday to you, Dark Offensive. And Skylar Chen says, okay, I'm not trying to sound rude, but it's only up to Category 5, not 6. Everyone knows that hurricanes do not have Category 6. It's only up to 5, just letting you know, not being rude. Well, thanks for not being rude. Much appreciated. However, I did address this in the video, what with the hypothetical Categories 6 and 7 being brought up in some discussions. And that's all the time we have for today. Before I assemble precisely 3 Infinity Stones, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more intergalactic greatness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.